Hello and welcome to Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host, Rob Bentley, and thanks for tuning in. On today's show, we'll recap a big weekend for the Bulldogs as we check in with the Ferris State football, hockey, and volleyball squads. But we'll start first with Bulldog football, joined by assistant coach and offensive coordinator Steve Casula. And Coach, first of all, welcome back to the show.
Great to see you, Rob. Thanks for having me.
An interesting week, I know, for you this past weekend. Took on Davenport, a first-year conference member, and obviously a good, strong connection with you helping build that program.
Yeah, it was actually the first time in my time as a college coach that I've gone against a school that I used to work at, and obviously what made it even more unique was the fact that I was there from when football began. So I knew a lot of the players, a lot of the coaches, but it was a cool experience to see Coach McEwen and his staff, and obviously there's strong ties between not just him and Ferris, but between many of his staff members and many of our staff members and institutions. So we all know each other pretty well, and we're pretty close and pretty friendly rivalry. And then again, I know a ton of the players too. So it was fun. It was definitely an interesting, fun experience that I definitely won't forget.
How did that factor into the equation? Obviously, their coaching staff knowing a lot about the Bulldog system and you knowing so much about their players.
Well, I think sometimes when you face situations like that, you can kind of outthink yourself. And so, no, I think both sides kind of were pretty familiar with one another and had a good idea how we were going to attack one another and play one another. And we just kind of went out there and played, both sides. But yeah, it was something we talked about, but we kind of made the conscious decision, you know what? Let's not change who we are for one game, and we know who they are, they know who we are, and so I think it was definitely a different experience in terms of preparation, because they've got a decent handle on what we're doing, but we have a decent handle on what they're doing as well. And at the end of the day, it's still about the guys that are on the field, 11 on 11 when ball is snapped, going out and executing their job. So that wasn't something we were too concerned with.
As we go to some of the highlights, a wet day here, and
how about it?
Had a lightning delay early. You ever been in one of those before?
Once, 2011, when I was at Western, the game got stopped at the University of Michigan. Actually stopped in the middle of the third quarter for good. But this was only the second time ever, though, for sure.
Certainly had a strong defensive performance, allowing just 150 total yards in the day.
Can't say enough about the job that Coach Hodges, Coach Brady, Coach Smith, Mack, all those guys that work on defense have done. I mean, they've got our defense playing at such a high level right now. It's fun to be around. It feels pretty good as an offensive coach, knowing that there's going to be 11 guys rolling out there on defense that can just make plays. You see Tavi making a huge play after we turn it over, and I think that's one of the most impressive things about our defense. When we're struggling, they pick us up, and we're able to capitalize after a sudden change turnover with a touchdown, make Davenport pay.
Early touchdown here from Dion Earls, and a guy that stepped in with some injuries and playing a lot at the slot position.
Yeah, Dion's had a great year. We're really excited about how he's performed, not just as a slot, but as a kick returner and punt returner. He's been our fourth punt returner we've used this season and has stepped in and, been as good as any of the other ones. And he's done an outstanding job, as well as Devontae Harrington has played extremely well for us.
13-0 at halftime. Travis Russell on at quarterback and had a career-high 121 yards on the ground for
you. Yeah, we were up against it a little bit with some of the conditions. It was cold and wet, and Travis really stepped in and managed the game the way we needed him to and ran the heck out of the ball. So we're really excited about how Travis played. But to be honest with you, we count on Travis, and we know what he's capable of. Big third down conversion here with Brandon Walker in the face of a blitz. So Travis is, Travis has been very important to our success this year. So we're very fortunate to have him.
Good throw right there to Keandre Craig for the final touchdown, and certainly has to give your team a lot of confidence. You get a lead like that with the way the defense is playing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, watching our defense play, like even that play there, you see how many hats are around the ball. They're playing so hard right now. They're leveraging the ball and playing with such good fundamentals and execution of their assignments. They're fun to watch, and they're a fun group to be around. Coach Anise mentioned it, I think during his post-game comments about halftime. What was the defense doing? They're a passionate group of guys and veteran dudes that they've got quite a few seniors, and they're playing at a very high level.
Certainly, I know that shutout meant a lot to the defensive unit.
Oh, absolutely. It was one of the goals they talked about throughout the week, and it's always fun when a group of young people set a goal and go out and get it.
This week on the road, final game of the regular season, a long road trip to Michigan Tech.
Yeah.
What do you expect out of the Huskies this week?
Well, on a personal level, this will be the first time in all the years I lived in Michigan. I lived here 7, 8 years, something like that, I've ever been to the UP. But we're going up there. They're tough. They're really sound on special teams. They're physical on both offense and defense. They want to run the ball, stop the run. They've played in some close, really tightly contested games. You know, a one-touchdown game a week ago on the road at Tiffin that could have went either way. So they're battle-tested, and they play the game the right way with outstanding effort. And they've got some playmakers on the perimeter on both sides of the ball.
Obviously, going up to Houghton, Michigan here in November, you never know what the weather is going to be like, but fortunately, you had a couple games here where you've had to battle some of the elements.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this the other day. I mean, between Saginaw and this past week at Davenport, you know, I don't know that I've ever coached a game like we did at Davenport this past weekend where it was cold, but it was pouring down rain and windy throughout the whole game. But our kids are used to it. You know, we're pretty battle-tested as it comes to weather here, and so much of our team is from here that we've all kind of grown up in the seasons a little bit. So, you know, one of the things about weather is the other team's got to deal with it too. So it's not something we try to spend, you know, waste a lot of energy. We can't control it, but I think we are pretty comfortable now playing in it. So kind of part of who we are.
Fourth in the latest regional rankings that came out last week.
Yep.
Obviously in position here to make the playoffs for the fourth straight year. We'll talk about what that means.
I think it means a lot. I think it speaks a lot to what Coach Anise, his staff that's been here, and our players have accomplished. It's kind of become the standard. I think it's really impressive that the consistent high level of success, I think, is pretty unique across all levels of college football. But with all that being said, you know, we got to go take care of this Saturday first, and that's kind of what our main focus is finishing out the regular season the way that we're capable of.
Obviously, a lot of the goals still in front of the team here. How do you reach some of those goals here as you get ready to wrap up the regular season and hopefully start postseason play?
Yeah, I just think staying healthy, continuing to have that same energy that we've had throughout the season, playing hard, and continuing to play Bulldog football, which I think we've been able to do through the large part of the season. You know, we've won 6 in a row. We feel like we're on a pretty good roll right now, and just keeping that thing going and continuing to play good, tough, fundamental, sound ball.
What does it take to go up to Michigan Tech, get a win here this weekend, and come back with a 9-1 record?
I think it takes focus. You know, I think it's a little bit different of a road trip. Obviously, leaving a day early, you know, a longer trip, far away, a little bit different. So I think focusing on the task at hand, and then going and playing a good team. You know, they're probably they're better than their record reflects. Not that they have a bad record, but they're a good football team. That's a play here or a play there away from being having a kind of a different season. So I think we've kind of all know this about the GLIAC every week. You know, especially, you know, a team like us is going to get somebody's best shot because of the success we've had, and knowing that we're going to get a really good, tough Michigan Tech football team on senior day at home, and, you know, we're going to go against a really good opponent and being ready to focus and play hard and take care of our business and win that game.
Well, Coach, congratulations on all the wins so far.
Yeah, thank you.
The victory over Davenport. Best
Absolutely.
of luck this weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.